Starting with a new 100-liter tank, sourced originally from Porsche, we modified it to accept a center fill. The center fill opening pokes through the hood, so during a fast pit stop, the crews can pop the cap off, fill the tank through a very large neck as quickly as possible, and get the driver back on the road. This was crucial in saving time. In races, you want to save every second possible. In keeping with our Tour de France theme, this car also received some very rare CBA biodes. CBA early on had an association with Porsche for their rally cars, and this car is no different. Stewart was able to find a pair of new old stock biodes and some new old stock housings, so we have the same thing installed on the car that the factory did back in 1970 and 71. The grills were hand-formed, again by Kundensport, and they matched the contours and openings in order to admit more air to the brakes and the oil cooler behind. The front hood is another specialty item. Starting with the standard lightweight design, we further refined it, again using the proper German twill, clear polyester resin, and lightning holes, again to save every precious gram. The front bumper is one of our standard units that has been modified to the proper width for the 911 ST, and also including some debris screens in order to protect the brakes and front suspension. Lastly, up front, you'll see the original GHE Happich hood tie-downs. Not easily found, but from our friends in Germany, these came our way. Starting with an RSR-type rear bumper, it was cut, modified, and fitted to work with the special 9-inch wide 911 ST flares. Kundensport assisted us in doing the job and getting all the contours and the fitting correctly. The rear tail lamps have been replaced with the version as used on the 911R, Porsche's super lightweight from 1967. The lamps themselves are from Hella, and they've been modified with a special coating to give them the unique rose-colored appearance that you see here. In the search of saving weight, Porsche's race engineers left no stone unturned. They went to plexiglass for the windows on the car and kept this original front windshield, as the regulations would not allow that to be changed. We sourced a windshield that was made from thinner glass, and for the rest of the car went to an aircraft windshield specialist who manufactured the unique windows that you see on this car today. The doors are quite unique. Starting with standard steel shells, they were fitted to the chassis first to make sure that they'd be correct. Then, outer aluminum skins were made by our metal fabricator. Inner fiberglass R panels were sourced, and everything taken to Kundensport to where they melded everything into the product you see here. These two straps here serve a couple of functions. The one for releasing the standard door latch is the horizontal black one, and the vertical strap is for lifting and lowering the windows. This saves a lot of weight because we do away with the window mechanisms, we do away with extraneous latch parts that have nothing to do with the actual opening of the door. Originally, the 1972 911S had a 2.4 engine. Unfortunately, when Stewart's car came to us, the motor was unsuitable for his needs. So starting fresh, we obtained a 7R block. The 7R block was arguably the strongest magnesium block that Porsche would supply for the 2.4 and 2.7 motors. The block was sent to a machinist to where it was boat-tailed, checked for straightness, piston squirters were checked. An early 4-rib turbo oil pump was also fitted, and the block needed to be modified to clearance that as well. The crankshaft was checked, blueprinted in essence, and along with the rods, everything was checked for balance. ARP rod bolts were installed for high rev capabilities. Pistons were brand new Moly 10.5 to 1 compression. Cylinder heads were ported and twin plugged and rectified back to specification. High performance camshafts of a 120-104 type grind were fitted. Crawford Composites was contacted, and they supplied us an excellent replication of the original RSR 906 style engine shrouding, as well as the fan ring. Brand new high butterfly injection was sourced, installed and fitted. Manufactured the clear fuel lines that you see here. Being flexible, these fuel lines allow us the luxury of removing the pump for any adjustments that need to be made without wasting countless hours on the steel version. A correct RSR tensioning rod was fabricated, and we now offer this as well to our other clients. The fuel injection pump is a hybrid of Porsche and Mercedes parts with competition pieces thrown in, and has been extensively dyno tested to yield the performance necessary for a motor like this. We had replica early racing department engine mounts, which have also been fitted. The long crossbar is the correct lightweight 5-hole unit. The ignition distributor is a modification of a 911SC unit that's been set up with the Magneti Marelli style cap, rotor, and utilizing twin 6-pin ignition units. Though a departure from the original race department, we find these units to be quite reliable for the 8,000 RPM operation that this engine may see. Moving to the exhaust system, we have a replica of the original race system as fitted by the factory to their cars. This convertible system allows you to quickly remove the final muffler, thereby leaving open megaphones for circuit racing. The transmission started out as the original 1972 S transmission, but we completely rebuilt it, synchros, sliders, whatever needed to be done to do it right. It has a factory limited slip, at 80% capacity. The transmission mounts are also the RSR style variety, single billet, one-piece aluminum. We started with modifying new turret sway bars to emulate the original RSR style. If you look at the end links, they're fully adjustable and encapsulated, just as they fitted to the RSR. We feature these front and rear on the car. The rear control arms are also unique. Starting with the original 72 arms, after they were checked for straightness, special patterns were made and reinforced for the rigors of racing. New bearings were fitted throughout. Polybronze bushings were fitted front and rear for ease of movement, access for lubrication, and suspension geometry. The front trunk received the original style late ST, early RSR strut brace. This is a weld-in unit with bolt-in crossbar. As the car is so light, there's no need for an upgrade in the brake system. The original 911S alloy calipers were more than up to the task for the rigors of rallying. A dual master cylinder setup and fabricated pedal system had been fitted in order to provide the pressure for the brake system on a consistent basis. The springing medium on a 911 is through torsion bars. The standard torsion bars are quite heavy. In this case, we utilize hollow torsion bars that are much larger than stock that yielded an increase in spring rate. All the suspension was stripped to bare metal, inspected, and powder painted. A special fabricated aluminum bash pan was also installed on the later model lightweight aluminum crossmember that supports the steering rack.